Hey guys, how you doing? Today's video is going to be about Fox-1 tactics. For anyone unaware, Fox-1 is semi-active radar homing. This means that your aircraft needs to maintain a lock all the way to missile impact on the target. This is different from Fox-3, which is active radar homing, which allows you to turn cold on your target, lose lock, and the missile itself will go active and hit the target. So it does force you to change up your offensive and defensive tactics a little bit in that sense. So I thought that I could practice it here today and we can see how it goes. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I have him on RWR down there. 12 o'clock per usual. Gonna set up the radar. I'm gonna change the interleave to high, the pulse repetition frequency. Gonna set that to high because we're hot, and that's gonna allow me to pick him up sooner. And the other thing I'm gonna do at this point is climb for altitude. And we'll talk about the reasons why I'm doing that in the TAC view, but it's basically just to increase the range at which my missiles can fly. So yes, because we're using Fox-1s today, the tactics are going to be a little bit different. I don't really fight with Fox-1s too much, so I figured it would be good practice. It's mostly why I wanted to do this video and this fight. Alright, so he's basically got me locked up at this point. I have him on radar. I have him on radar, but I can't quite lock him up yet. That's fine, once I get closer it'll lock him up. Alright. So, now that we got him locked up, I'm basically going to Fox-1 him when I get the launch authorization. We're going to start cranking. Okay, so we're going to try to bleed the missile energy by cranking left and right, and we're going to try to decrease altitude as well to drag the missile down into dense air. While doing that, we're going to try to keep a lock on him the entire time. That's going to be the true challenge here. Fox-1. Okay, he has fired on me as well. We're cranking to the right here, slowly decreasing altitude as we crank, keeping him within the gimbal limits. Now those missiles are coming from quite a far distance, so we can relax a little bit in the sense that we should be able to bleed their energy before they hit us. Gonna keep dragging them down, cranking left and right. Fox-1 again. Alright, continue the cranks. Never stop cranking. At this point, we're just trying to outmaneuver anything he's fired at us. And Fox-1 again. Oh, he triple launched at me. They're tracking. They look like they're tracking.
Is the one.
Alright guys, here we go. Here's the TAC view. A lot of interesting things happen in this fight, so towards the end we will see that stuff. We start at about 90 nautical mile separation, and you can see that the two of us are going to climb for altitude. And the reason that we're doing this, I think he's got the same thought process as I do, is you come high altitude, and what that allows you to do is once you come up here into the thin air at higher altitude, you can fire your missile sooner. You're going to get faster launch authorization. The missile's going to have to fight less friction, and theoretically that's going to increase the range at which it can travel and possibly hit the target. Assuming that the target stays at the same altitude, that launch authorization will remain accurate, and you can possibly get a kill, depending on how poorly the opponent defends the missile. But the possibility is there. So anyway, we're at high altitude. We're going to close in at about 40 nautical miles. Now these are Fox-1s, which means that you're going to have to kind of play around with your tactics. It's not going to be like a Fox-3 when you can turn cold and run away. You can see that there's my launch authorization at about, 38 nautical miles. I fire my Fox-1, and you can see Takyon's fired his as well, also Fox-1, and we both taken the same defensive tactic of the crank. And anyone who's been watching this channel for a few videos now is probably very familiar with the crank. Essentially what it is just a pull to the right or to the left within the gimbal limits of the radar, which will allow you to maintain your lock, but will decrease closure rate between the two aircraft, which is going to keep the missiles airborne longer, thereby bleeding more energy. And also by pulling them to the right and to the left, you're going to bleed off more of their energy. As their rockets burn out after 1 or 2 seconds, they only have a set amount of energy to work with. The longer you can keep them airborne and the more you can crank them left and right, the more their energy you can bleed off. Okay, so this is essentially what's going on with the two cranking maneuvers. You can see I'm cranking more left and right than Takyon here. He seems to be maintaining his crank, and actually what he's doing appears to be more in lines with an F pull. The other thing that you're going to notice that we're doing is decreasing altitude, right? So as I'm cranking left and right, I'm also decreasing my altitude, and I'm dragging the missile into denser air, creating more friction, bleeding more airspeed. Okay. Now he's fired a second Fox-2 at this point. You can see he's chaffing. I'm not using chaff because I'm trying to practice my energy management and see if I can kill missiles with just energy. You should definitely be using chaff. Don't be doing what I'm doing here with no chaff. Alright, so here is when we get the next launch. Okay, so I've defeated this missile simply by cranking left and right, and it just doesn't have the energy to do anything useful in terms of turning into me and hitting me. Right, so that's trashed. Takyon has managed to defeat my missile in a similar way, because he has also dragged it into denser air, and he's defeated that missile. So he's going to fire another Fox-1. I'm going to fire another Fox-1 as well. And what's going on here is at 12 nautical miles, at about 14 or 15,000 feet, which is where we're at, 12 nautical miles should be enough to get you a kill. So therefore I'm not really going to have time to bleed off enough of the missile's energy. What I'm going to have to do at this point is outmaneuver it, and that's why you see me doing these high cranks left and right in an attempt to bleed off that missile. Now what happens here is my high cranking and his maintaining of his crank in a certain direction ends up pushing me outside of the gimbal limits of his radar, and that means that he's going to lose lock. And something as simple as that is going to cost him his life, because this missile at Mach 2.3 had more than enough energy to hit me, but it's lost track and it's gone stupid because he lost lock. Right, look at where his nose is pointing, and look at where I am relative to that. He lost lock in this situation 100%, and that's why this missile, this one, is just not even tracking. You can see, right? My missile, however, continues to track, and as it comes closer to him, I think he either notices it, or I'm not sure what's going on, but he's going to give 3 launches. 1, 2, 3 Fox-3s. I think the logic, I don't know. He just wanted to fire off 3 and just get lucky. So, okay, so here's what's going on. I don't think he was going to get hit there, but like, he didn't think that he was going to get hit. So he fired off 3 because of this range that's just ridiculously close. He would have been guaranteed a kill. I also did not think that that missile would probably hit him. I thought he would outcrank it, which is why I fired another one. However, now you see the interesting stuff going to happen here. He is dead. His radar is gone. Okay, he is no longer providing guidance to these missiles. However, what you're going to see is that these missiles are going to continue to track, which they should not be doing. Alright, I'm going to remove... Actually, no, let's just leave it. Look at this. Let's get rid of the labels at least. Okay, watch. I saw the smoke of the 3 missiles, and I didn't know if I had killed them or not. So as far as I was concerned, I was still defensive against these missiles. Look at how they continue to track. Look at the flight path of the missiles. They're actually pulling up as I pull up. They're tracking, even though they shouldn't be. They're Fox-1s. Look at this. right? Look how they pull up. These are Fox-1s that are tracking even though the lead aircraft has been killed. Let me just slow that down a little bit. Now tac view does make the aircraft a little bit larger. In the video this looks like it slips through right in between right here somewhere in the video. When I replayed it, it looked like something like that. However, tac view for whatever reason is saying that it hit me right in the middle, and it definitely did not. But it did not proxy fuse on me, nor should it have even come close to me because he was dead. However, it did. It tracked, but the proxy fuse did not work. And you can see the same thing here. This is the second missile. Exact same thing. It tracks perfectly. However, no proxy fuse. That missile does not make any kind of contact. But you can see it's like millimeters apart. Look at that. Millimeters. And then the third missile, that goes right over. So there's some interesting things going on here in the sense that that's 3 consecutive proxy fuse failures and 3 Fox-1s that should no longer be tracking that continue to track. Okay, so our theory here was that possibly when he got hit, when Takyon got killed here, the impact may not have destroyed his radar instantaneously and may have continued to provide guidance to the missiles for a couple seconds after he was dead. However, when I replayed the file, you can see that the aircraft, upon impact of the missile, does a full 360 backwards. Okay, so even if his radar wasn't destroyed instantly, he would have lost lock because he would have flipped completely facing the other way, right? So I started asking around and I talked to some people. I talked to Razor, if you guys remember him. He's very experienced in this kind of stuff, and he told me that this is a bug in DCS. Okay, that currently the Fox-1s will continue to track even after they lose the lock. However, they will not detonate. The proxy fuses don't work, and because they don't work, they're kind of useless anyway, but they do track. They continue to track. So this I would assume ED would like to fix. That would be awesome, because I didn't know that these missiles were not going to detonate, and I defended them as if they would, because they certainly seemed like they were coming towards me, and I almost shit myself actually with the 3 missiles, because I thought I didn't kill him because I kept tracking, right? I was like, oh no, those are turning into me, I guess I didn't kill him. So yeah, by the time I figured out what was going on, I luckily managed to dodge these 3 missiles, and I noticed that Takyon was dead. So then we came to the tac view to try to figure out what happened, and that's the conclusion that we've come to. This is a bug, okay? Fox-1s will continue to track even after they have lost lock. However, they will not detonate, okay? So that's just something for you to know until ED fixes that. And as far as I know, that is a persistent bug. It's not new, from what Razor told me. It's not a new thing, so watch out for this one. Alright guys, so that's going to be the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it entertaining. I know I discovered something new today, so I hope you did as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.